So here's another video of how quiet lockdown Cambridge is. I'm out legitimately. I've been shopping at Sainsbury's. I'm just taking a longer route back to my bike. So here's Monsoon. This here is Holy Trinity Church, where my mum and my dad lived. My now late mum, she died 5 years ago. Of course, everywhere's shut. You find yourself crossing the road to do the whole social distancing thing. People seem to have it down tack pretty well in Cambridge. So you see neighbours talking to each other across the road, or they'll ring the doorbell and talk to each other from the length of the driveway and things. This up ahead is Great St Mary's University Church. Slightly wary of the police car on patrol, but perfectly legitimately walking back to my bike. There's the mobile phone shop, which is of course very shut at the moment. Cambridge Market not entirely dead, because you're allowed to sell food, and the bells of Great St Mary's are chiming 10:15. But it's sort of a boom time for Cambridge Market if you want to buy fresh bread and various other bits of food. Police are clearly on a loop of Cambridge city centre. But, all the cooked food places on Cambridge Market are closed. But yeah, I thought I'd take a slightly longer sort of 10-15 minute walk back to my bike to check out how quiet parts of the city centre are that I know really well. There's Cambridge University Press bookshop there. You've got a very big bookshop actually. It extends from here all the way to here, because they are a publisher themselves, of course. The Cosmic Revolutionaries Handbook, or How to Beat the Big Bang, is getting really big. This at the end here is Corpus Christi College, where Stephen Hawking studied. This is the Senate House, and hidden behind these trees, but you'll be able to see it better in a minute, is King's College Chapel. I'm just enjoying how quiet it is. It's very rare you can walk through the city centre and listen to bird song. When I came shopping last week, there were ducks randomly walking through the city centre. So yeah, this is King's Parade, and King's College Chapel was on the TV relatively recently. They had a service for Easter on, which would have been recorded before Easter, before all this kicked off. We have here Bennett's Cafe, who managed to put up their closed sign. Some people's closed signs mention coronavirus, or COVID-19, or whatever they want to call it. Others don't. And others have just put up a sign saying closed till further notice. Sorry, we can't be here, Cafe Nero. True clothing. To say a big thank you. And on the subject of clothing, in the news recently it was Cath Kidston, one of the clothing brands, has gone out of business in this whole lockdown. So there's King's College Chapel. There's a better look at it. You can go wide angle on the camera. So there's the entrance to King's College over there on my right. There's King's College's own visitor centre. Campkin's Camera Centre, who reassure people that they can still sell you a camera, etc. online, which is always good to know. Online businesses are really booming at the moment. One of the reasons I wanted to do this walk is coming up quite soon, and that's we're about to hit what I call the grasshopper clock, but it's better known as the chronoflage clock or something. And you could come down here morning, evening, afternoon, tourist season or not tourist season. Here's the closure notice in the Agora Copper Kettle Cafe, and always there will be people looking at the clock. Always, no matter what time of day. Right now, dead quiet. So I'm going to have to get slightly ambidextrous and pull my stills camera out my other pocket and stick it round my neck and get it out. I shall take an incredibly rare photograph of nobody at all looking at this clock. This is the Cambridge Shop House. Let's get the stills camera on. And here it is. Absolutely dead. Go right up to it. I can stand in the road where normally I'd be having people honk at me. So have a little look down the corner. This is Bennett Street. This is the Eagle Public House here. And this tiny little church, I can never remember the name of, so I'll walk right up to the sign for you. Ah yes, this is St Bennett's Church. Another in a long line of very sort of small and very cute churches we have in Cambridgeshire. Good old Royal Mail, keeping the country moving there. So this is the point here where King's Parade becomes Trumpington Street. I've never understood why streets change their name part way through. It's still essentially the same road. So we'll have another look at the clock while we're here. One car. I may shoot the rest of this video on as wide angle as possible to show you as much as possible. Oh, let's cross the road again. While we're on this side, this is the bin that normally would have a busker in. Down here is King's Lane, Famously slightly haunted area, King's Lane, if you read up about this part of Cambridge in books about ghosts. Let's get back over. Now things are quieter again. This is the University of Cambridge medical practice. Of course, have somewhat more detailed signs when it comes to coronavirus. We've even got the government sign. So we're essentially on part of the route of the Shada tour I do every year. Not remotely sure if there'll be one this year, what the way things are. Last year's one was in October, this year's one was planned to be in July. So there's St Catherine's College. That is the first place I took part in Doctor Who fandom in Cambridge. On the right hand side there was a bar called Cat's Bar, where I would gather as part of a university group. I know I'm not a student and I've never been a student, but that doesn't mean to say you can't socialise with students. Weirdly, this part of Cambridge being quiet is not freaking me out quite as much as the more sort of central area near the Market Square. Because I've been down this way on New Year's Day when it's been quiet. Not this quiet, but quiet. Eden Ravencroft on the other side of the road. There's quite posh tailors, robe makers. If you're one of the students and need your college robes, been going an awful long time. Them 1689. This is St Bottle's Church. I'll get a better look at that in a minute because I'm going to head down Bottle Lane. That's Silver Street. Should normally have traffic down it and people. Absolutely dead quiet. So here's your Bottle Lane, or I can walk straight down the road. Strictly speaking, should be a one-way street. Isn't. Never been able to get my head around that one because, as you can see, it's barely a metre wide. But people are allowed to drive both ways down this road and somehow manage to pass each other. But it's so quiet, the only sound I can hear from this churchyard is birds moving around. Get quite a good angle on some bottles from here. There you go. This is kind of partly an excuse for me to pass one of my employers. Should be coming up in a short while. start getting near my employer now because we get to a building that we as the college own. This is Chris Adams' house. So cool because it's named after a former fellow of the college who helped pay for it. And there's my morning job employer, Pembroke College. Again, not entirely dead. There's probably the odd one or two bits of work going on, bits of maintenance and what have you. And here we're on Pembroke Street. Yep, we've got contractors in for walls, ceilings and floors by the looks of things. But yeah, this is Pembroke Street, where normally I'd be having to battle the traffic on my way into work. And yep, absolutely dead quiet. I think we'll take this video up to about around a 20-minute point. When I get back to me bike. Ooh, an actual piece of traffic. Archeology, biological anthropology. There's quite a few university departments down this way. Someone's been at the new museum site. This is the new museum site. The original museum site. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head where that is. So called Pembroke Arch because it's just about opposite the college. But this is home to the Zoology Museum. We're not too far from the Whipple Museum. And through there, as I say, zoology has a lot of very interesting animal related exhibits in there. Let's cross the road again. So down this way is Tennis Court Road. That's the side of Pembroke College there. That white building about there is Founders Court, where I'd normally be working. And on this side of the road we've got the Museum of Archeology and Anthropology. Well, if I go a little further, there's quite an interesting decorated entranceway. Yes, it's very quiet in there. There's libraries of books and things and nobody working there at all. But there you've got the zoological laboratory. In here you've got the Sedgwick Museum of Geology. It's of course all locked up at the moment. Yeah, this is all very ornately decorated. As I say, there's odds and sods of traffic, but not much. And this is Corn Exchange Street. So cool because just there is Cambridge Corn Exchange. I can't get over the birds. You wouldn't normally hear birds at all in the city centre. It's normally just be the sound of traffic and people. So the Grand Arcade and the Lion Yard are shut. Well, they're marginally sort of open. The Grand Arcade is shut. The Lion Yard is open because there's a health food shop in there. It's open for the health food shop but nothing else. I can't quite get my head around what all this noise is down here. I thought it was coming from the car park earlier. Turns out it's not. still here, and it was here a few minutes ago when I parked my bike. Maybe it is coming from the car park. Singular piece of traffic. Not sure where they're going to. The actual car park at the Grand Arcade is open. The bike park, which is just behind me now, that is closed. Normally I wouldn't even be able to walk here because it's a cycleway. Here's your Rutland cycle shop. Of course all shut down at the moment. Oh yes, here's the bike park. Not entirely empty, so some people have been caught with their bikes all locked up and can't get at them. But be careful. See if there are some bikes in there. But normally that would be open first thing in the morning, about 7:30 in the morning. Wouldn't lock up till 11:30 at night, so you could go in here to the Corn Exchange, see a show, and then head straight out to your bike. I think they're pressure washing somewhere, that's what it is. But yeah, almost back at my bike now, and that's where we'll end this. And here I am back at my bike, so I'll say goodbye and thank you very much for watching, and haters, please stay off the comments.